Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I had an opportunity to review Chille's new complaint against Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. If I were going to bet, I would bet that it gets dismissed on 12B6 motion. I would bet that. I'm not saying it will, just to be clear. If it survives a 12B6, Chille would be stupid to take it to trial, having watched the body cam footage, having watched Chille's review of Chille's video of it. Thank you, PDocs, for the complaint and for those videos. Having watched those, it would be foolhardy for Chille to take this to trial again. Not because of motions in limine and everything else all of his supporters like to try to pass the blame on, but because juries don't like it when people act like assholes. They just don't like it. Chille was the one acting like an asshole. And that is going to taint the jury. It's going to prejudice the jury against him. The videos that Chille recorded and the police recorded of the actual incident are going to taint the jury against him, which is 100% a factor in Chille's last case. The jury was tainted against him, and the defense did an excellent job in prejudicing the jury against him. Apparently, they played a lot of his videos where he was antagonistic to police, where he called the police jackboot pig thugs or whatever. So they made it abundantly clear that Chille is an antagonist, that he's aggressive, that he's ideologically motivated to start shit with the police, and that taints juries. So Chille's best bet at this point is to, if he survives the 12B6, because I doubt they'll entertain a settlement offer before the 12B6, if he survives the 12B6, to try to do a cost of litigation settlement, maybe get 10, 20 grand. If I was representing him, I'd be thrilled to get 20 grand. I would tell him to accept 10. But I'm just a first-year family law attorney, so who cares what I have to say? All of Chille's supporters know the law and the procedure and the Constitution way better than I do, apparently, because I'm dumb and wrong, and there's no way that there could be a probable cause because Chille's conviction was overturned on appeal, except that a court, once again, through a jury, found that there was probable cause. So, but I'm wrong, apparently, and they're right. So, it doesn't really matter what the courts keep spitting out. It really doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to be right. I mean, you can't reach some people. They wouldn't be able to tell you how they'd feel right now if they didn't have breakfast this morning, because all they could think about is, but I did have breakfast, or I didn't have breakfast. There's Chille supporters. I hate to categorize a group of people like this, but they're not the brightest bulbs in the candelabra. On a different note, and I don't mean to lump this particular person in there, but because I do like this guy. But I had essentially a question, why, and I've had this before and I've explained it before, why do cops get to make reasonable mistakes of facts and law but not be held accountable when citizens can't? Well, the reasonable mistake of facts and law is a specific Fourth Amendment analysis to reasonable suspicion and probable cause. It's both of those things. It applies to both. There's no daylight between them on how the reasonable mistakes of fact and law apply. So cops can make reasonable mistakes of facts and law, specifically in Fourth Amendment reasonable suspicion detentions or probable cause arrests. Boom, done. So it's not like some general thing where cops get to make reasonable mistakes of facts and law. It's not a crime to make a detention or arrest if you're a cop without them. It's not a crime. It's a violation of rights, but that's not a crime. If the cop is acting as a cop, doing what cop does, and cops make mistakes all the time, it's not a crime. It is a violation of your rights, sure, but it's not a crime. Some violations of your rights are crimes, but not all. So if it's just a violation of your rights and it's not a crime, we're not talking about criminal stuff. If a cop commits a crime, the cop has the same defenses a citizen would and no more to the charges that he's charged with. So the cops don't get different treatment. I guess technically if a citizen makes a citizen's arrest, the Fourth Amendment analysis might apply in there somewhere. But generally speaking, citizens aren't going out there making arrests. Generally speaking, they're not doing detentions and arrests. Generally speaking, that's the cops, and so the Fourth Amendment analysis applies to cops, and cops are more likely to get sued under 42 U.S.C. 1983. The citizen making a citizen's arrest who lacks probable cause is more likely to be sued under if he actually physically does something, assault, wrongful imprisonment, kidnapping, whatever. It's going to be those kind of torts that they'd be sued for in a lawsuit, not a 1983 action. So it's apples and oranges. It's conflating, it's thinking that any violation or anything that violates any law is illegal and therefore a crime, when it's only some violations of the law that are crimes. Crimes, doesn't matter what state you're in. Common law crimes are well documented in case law in common law states that still have common law crimes. The vast bulk, the majority of states have statutory crimes. They don't use the common law definitions of anything, but all the crimes are clearly laid out. If what you do is not, and the federal government has only statutory crimes, they don't have common law crimes. They've gotten rid of the common law, folks. I hate to tell you, but bad ilk is still bad law. But if it's not laid out in one of those statutes or in one of the cases that defines the common law crime in a common law state, then it's not a crime. And generally speaking, violations of your Fourth Amendment rights or of your First Amendment rights are not crimes. They're not listed as crimes. There might be torts, like civil lawsuits that you could do for those, but they're not crimes. So conflating all violations of law with crime is not correct. Some violations of law are crimes, but those are clearly laid out. All other violations of law are not crimes, and those are also clearly laid out. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.